Hello everyone, welcome back to another election prediction video. This time we have Senator Bernie Sanders of the state of Vermont up against Governor of Florida, Ron DeSantis. So to start off with here, I think Bernie Sanders would do extremely well in California, Oregon, Washington, Hawaii. Again, we just fill in the safe states. I'll say that the only way Bernie Sanders really runs for the presidency is if Joe Biden somehow drops out of the race for health reasons. Bernie Sanders did say he didn't rule out running if Biden wasn't going to run in 2024, because I really think Bernie probably would have ran for a second term if he won in 2020. But again, he only runs if Biden's not running because he already endorsed Biden for the Democratic primary. So let's get right into this. So Colorado obviously would be a safe Democratic state. Same with New Mexico. He would do pretty well with Latino voters. And Colorado's just trending more and more progressive just every election. Alaska would probably be safe Republican because of Bernie Sanders' green energy policies. They're pro-oil in the state of Alaska. In Maine at large, you'd probably easily win it. Same with New Hampshire. Maine second, honestly, with how much DeSantis is like fighting this culture war stuff. I really think he's just losing a ton of populist voters, and this district's actually quite populist. But I still think he would just get a narrow win here just because of the trends here are still very beneficial for the Republicans, but it'd be a very, very close district. Nebraska second probably goes to Sanders by a lean margin. Again, I think you'd struggle with those more moderate types of voters that exist in Nebraska second. But again, DeSantis is so right-wing on the policies that it would probably teeter on the likely Democratic margin there. But let's get into the next few states. Iowa and Ohio would definitely go to lean Republican. I think DeSantis would really struggle here. He would lose a few percentage points from Trump's margins here, just because of how not populist he is on the issues anymore. He's just going further right wing on all these issues. Plus, you could just look at it. Bernie Sanders could attack him for Sanders could attack him for DeSantis' voting record in the House of Representatives, where he kind of voted against Social Security in a lot of ways. And also DeSantis is actually pretty pro-free trade, so I think that could definitely hurt him in both these states. In the state of Florida, I think DeSantis relatively easily win it just because it's his home state. He'll probably win it by 12 points, and Cuban voters really don't like the socialist word, which Bernie Sanders calls himself a democratic socialist, and that would definitely hurt him with those types of Cuban voters here. Even though Sanders does better with Latino voters overall, he'd probably struggle in a state like Florida, and even in Texas, which has more conservative Latinos and more moderate voters that might not like how left-wing Bernie Sanders is on economic issues, which is why I'm putting this as a likely Republican state. Virginia, however, stays likely Democratic, probably still a 6-point Bernie Sanders victory here. Again, some moderate establishment voters might not like how Sanders is so left-wing on some issues, and they might just not vote for him just because of that. They just might vote third party or something, or just not really be energized to turn out. And some might even vote for DeSantis because of how left-wing Sanders is on some economic issues, but he still carries the state of Virginia. In North Carolina and Georgia, I think both these states probably go lean Republican against Bernie Sanders. Again, progressives don't really do amazing down in the southern states because they really struggle with getting African American turnout quite high enough to win both these states. And again, there's a big amount of moderate voters in these like suburban regions in both these states that probably would break towards the Republican due to how left-wing a candidate is or how populist a candidate is. These typically aren't populist states, I would say. In Nevada and Arizona, I think Sanders would relatively easily win the state of Nevada. Again, it's a very pro-choice state, and DeSantis signed an abortion bill here in Florida that's a pretty restrictive ban, 6-week ban, in fact, that's quite unpopular with most voters and independents. Nevada's extremely pro-choice overall, so I don't really think DeSantis would edge out Sanders here. But in Arizona, I think DeSantis would edge out Sanders. Again, DeSantis doesn't have the baggage Trump has here with a lot of anti-Trump Republicans that like Trump on the policies but just hate him personally, that they wouldn't vote for him. Again, they're sort of like McCain Republicans. They would probably end up breaking towards DeSantis because of how left-wing Sanders is on the issues. But in the Rust Belt states, Sanders would do extremely well in Minnesota. He would probably win it by like 8 points or so. In Michigan, he would probably win it by 5 against DeSantis. I think DeSantis is that unpopular at this point that Sanders had to have quite the advantage here just because of how not populist DeSantis is at all on the issues anymore. He's just gone so right wing on so many issues that he's trying to outflank Trump from the right in the Republican primary in an effort to win it. That he's kind of cratering the primary and in the general election polling, he's cratering. But Sanders would probably have quite the advantage in Michigan just because of populist voters. Same reasoning for Pennsylvania, probably easily win it against DeSantis by 3.5% while winning Michigan by about 5. Wisconsin probably goes to Sanders by 2.5% as well. So it's 276 to 262. I think the popular vote probably remains like a 3.5% or 4% victory. Probably a 3.5% victory in the popular vote for Sanders. So I would greatly appreciate it for the subscribe to the channel and make sure you comment. I want to know what you think of the video, any video recommendation ideas you got. And if you agree or disagree with the map, what states would you change? I'm interested in hearing your feedback. Okay, well, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.